Hey folks, it's Woody here at USA Made Blade and coming to you from the shop tonight. Gonna do something a little different tonight. We don't think we've done anything like this before, but maybe we have. We've done a lot of videos. But the title of this video, I think we're gonna call it something along the lines of 7 knives that surprise folks in our store. And the purpose of it is that we realize we have a knife store that a physical store that people can come into. We don't do a ton of business in our store. Majority of our business is online, but you know, we have people that travel pretty good ways to see some of the selection that we have available, just because there's so few places to be able to put your hands on knives nowadays, especially the higher end knives, the type of things that we sell. So the point of this video is that it's kind of a compilation of all the over the years and even over the past few months of the people that come in the door, and they kind of have a certain impression tag for a price tag, but they have a certain image in their mind, a certain impression of what a knife is going to be like, or that they either have already prejudged it based on videos they've seen, or just the pictures or things that they've read on forums. So they already have an image in their head, and that they're not going to like it, but they're here, so they end up checking out a lot of knives, and especially those that don't get into a knife store very often. And this is built up from, a lot of it came from our open house. And Kevin and I were sitting around the other day, my business partner and I were talking about how certain knives that sell so well in store, and especially at the open house, where you have so many knife nuts here at one time, and how, you know, they don't sell, sometimes don't sell as well online. And some of it's just about how people come in and they have an impression in their head, and then that changes once they put the knife in their hand. So let's run through it. These are in no particular order. Some of them won't surprise you because I talk about them a ton, and some of them might. But we've got a mixture here, so let's run through it. The number one knife to start with, and like I said, in no particular order, is the Southern Grind Spider Monkey. And I think one of the reasons this knife surprises so many people is, it's just a great everyday carry size knife, and they're kind of thrown off by that. They don't know what to think based on what they've seen online, and B, this knife just got, when it first came out, got absolutely torched by online reviewers, by people in forums, and there were some legitimate complaints when they first started making the Spider Monkey. There were definitely some lockup issues and some opening issues and things like that. And Southern Grind quickly addressed them, but you can only address so much when you've already got a couple hundred on the market. And you know, ever since then, ever since that first batch came out, they've been battling back against that reputation. But they make a fantastic knife, and people who come in the store are like, wow, that knife really does shock the hell out of me. It's a perfect carry, and blah blah blah. So we end up moving a lot of these in the store, and they've gotten past that reputation pretty good online. But some people, once they've read one thing about them, never go back to check it out. So that's number one on our list. I left the tag on this. Let me get that off. Well, it doesn't want to come off. Sorry, folks. Give me 1 second here. There we go. Number two on our list happens to be a fixed blade, and it's one I'm very fond of, and will surprise a lot of people. But it's actually the TM Hunt Hedgehog, and this is a smaller knife for Todd. And he had a lot of inspiration from some pretty impressive knife people on why he wanted to make it and how he made it and everything else. But for such a small knife, it's got a great feel in the hand. It really does. Good purchase on it, and right where that cutout is seems to fit most people's hands really well, for that kind of finger groove in there. And just a great smaller, really everyday carry or camping carry, or however you want to use it. But good little carving knife, good little, you know, field knife, whatever you want to use it for, bushcraft knife. And Todd kind of made this to prove the point that you don't have to have a big fixed blade to do a lot of the tasks that you want to do. And when people come in the store and end up putting this in their hand, That's where we move a majority of these hedgehogs. So anyway, something to take into consideration. Number two on the, or I'm sorry, number three on our list, the Benchmade Mini Crooked River. Surprisingly, now we always sell, truthfully, we sell probably more Benchmades in store than we do online. Benchmade's a popular brand that brings a lot of people into the shop. It's one of few knives I can say that we sell more of in store than we do online. But the Mini Crooked River, I think a lot of people still think, or if they, just based on everything that happened when the original Crooked River came out, they're just expecting this knife to be really big. And it's not. It's a great size everyday carry. It's good looking. In my opinion, one of Benchmade's best knives. And people who come in the store that are looking for Benchmades in particular are always very surprised by it. The quality, the feel. It's just a great design and great size. So I wish, honest to God, that Benchmade had started with the Mini Crooked River, calling it the Crooked River, and then come out with the Jumbo Crooked River or something like that. They did it backwards. But anyway, that's number three on the list. Number four on the list. This one's going to be interesting for some of you. The ZT-0640. We definitely just recently did a video about this knife, and hell, I was surprised. I mean, just being honest with you, when it showed up, I was expecting something a little more gentlemanly feeling, a little more petite feeling, I guess. And no, this knife is substantial. It's very smooth. It's got great action on it. But the other reason that I think this knife is selling really well in store and surprising a lot of people is that people are really turned off by that carbon fiber, that green, blackish carbon fiber. But every time somebody comes in the store and looks at it, they're like, damn. And they sit there and they turn it around in the light and they look at it in a different light. They're like, damn, that's actually really good looking. And it's been very few people who have come in here and looked at that carbon fiber and been like, man, that's uglier than hell. Everybody's like, man, it's very different, very cool. So it's definitely one, if that carbon fiber is turning you off, it's one you might want to be able to check out in person, because it is good looking, surprisingly good looking. Number five on the list is actually a kitchen knife, and this is the Nichols family forge, and this is their chef knife. And you guys know we don't sell much in the line of kitchen knives. We're working on it. We're going to grow it this next year, and we've got some cool things in place to make that happen. But Nichols, it's a hard name to say, actually lives just a few hours away from here. He's been in the shop, and when he brought these in and I put it in my hand the first time, I was really impressed. And guys, a little background on me. I actually was a kitchen manager with Daryl's, a restaurant out in Raleigh-Durham area. Actually, probably had about 25 or so franchises. But anyway, was a kitchen manager for him, and have just spent years of my life in kitchens cooking and love to cook. And this is the first chef knife that's really felt good in my hand. One of the biggest complaints I have on chef knives is I feel like the handles are too small. And this one's just got a great feel on the handle. And surprisingly, a lot of people come in our shop, and when they pick these up, they're really impressed. And like I said, most people aren't coming in our shop to look at kitchen knives, but we've moved a lot of these because as soon as a guy with bigger hands or just most guys in general, most chef knives aren't really made for guys. I swear I don't think they are. They put it in their hand and it's just substantial. It feels really good, and the way he's rounded the spine and done everything with this knife. I personally own one, so it's easy for me to talk about how fantastic it is. I've been using it for a long time, and it's just been a great knife in the kitchen. So number 6 on our list is actually going to be another Southern Grind knife, and it is the Southern Grind Quill. And this has been this one we have definitely outsold in the store, much more so than we have online. And this was actually the knife that started this whole topic, because people come in and this knife is just, it's hard to wrap your head around it until you see it in person. And honestly, if Southern Grind hadn't introduced this at Blade Show this past year, and I hadn't gotten to put my hands on it, I'd have been very skeptical about even ordering them or carrying them, because it kind of, it's hard to take a picture of it. It's kind of hard to grasp what it is, but it's just a new look to the gentleman's folder, and kind of has a Texas toothpick look to it, but it is a titanium folder, and just fun to flip. Slim, very slender knife, fits great in the pocket. And it's just one of those that I think most people online are having a hard time getting their head around. But let me tell you, we had a lot of knife nuts here for our open house, and this knife, outside of the next knife I'm going to talk about, it sold like mad. And it's because they could finally get their hands on it, and they're like, holy crap, it's really cool. So if the design of this, you're questionable about it, and the look of it a little bit, but you're intrigued, might be one to try and get your hands on, or take a risk of ordering. Pretty much everybody that's come in our store and bought one absolutely loves it. It's a cool little knife. Last on our list, won't surprise anybody, it's one of my favorite knives to talk about, and that is the Hinder Half Track. And we've done enough videos on this that you guys know how I feel about it. But really the thing that surprises most people when they come in the store is just how good this knife really does feel in the hand, compared to the size. It's just, like I've always said, fits the hand really, really well. But also we've got the new Hinder Half Track Spanto with the Gen 2, which has the tri-way pivot system and the steel lock insert. And between that and the action on these, and just how incredibly smooth they are, flip great, having the option to switch up the bearings to washers, it's kind of the full package. So people come in kind of looking for that Hinder 3-inch, or maybe a 3.5, or you know, a fire tack or something like that. And I've been amazed at the number of them that leave with one of these. So these have been selling fantastic online, but also have surprised a lot of people that have come in the store. So that's it, guys. This is the 7 knives that'll surprise you when you can get them in your hands type video. So we appreciate you watching. All these knives currently are available at USA Made Blade. If we happen to be out of stock of them, we'll always try and stock more of them and get more of them in very quickly. So if you don't see it, check back in just a few days. Hopefully we'll have more available. But we appreciate you watching. Like I said, check out USAMadeBlade.com and have a great night.